Welcome back to the Awfully Irish podcast. How are we getting on, guys?
Pretty good.
Today we're joined by a guy with a nice beard over there. How about you introduce yourself?
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
That's you.
yeah. Hey, it's Daryl from Daryl Marston from Ghost Hunters, guys. Glad to be here and excited to talk to everyone.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. You're the fourth. I think it's the fourth person from
No, it's fifth.
from his crew.
Oh, from that crew, fourth, yeah.
Yeah. So fourth from your crew. We talked to Mustafa and Rochelle and Brian. So far, everyone's been great. So no pressure. No.
They're great guys. They're great guys. All of them.
Yeah, they're all lovely. So I guess we'll start from the beginning. How'd you get into it? Everyone has their story.
I got into the paranormal by complete accident back in 2005. I'd watched the shows and everything in the early 2000s, and I actually got invited to a local investigation. It was around Halloween. I was at an event, and I went. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what a ghost hunter or a paranormal investigator was. I knew nothing about the equipment or anything like that. I didn't even know what to expect at the time. So I went. And on my first, it was only 2.5 hours we were there, 3 hours maybe. I went and I actually had my first experience ever where I saw a half-body apparition, and I was hooked after that. I'm like, oh, shit, this is real.
Yeah.
I left there that night just knowing that in some way, shape, or form I wanted to do this. Didn't know anything about how to do it. Didn't know how to run the equipment or, the techniques and things of that nature. And then I started doing it locally, just, local haunts. And it's where I met my wife. We started dating at the time. She started getting into it. And we did it for 3-4 years just by ourselves until around 2011. I started my own team called Great Paranormal. And we were pretty far apart as far as the members were. I think the closest member was maybe 10 hours. So we had to do a lot of traveling to investigate. We were doing a lot of stuff, on the weekends and things of that nature. And did that for quite a few years. And I got to the point where I'm like, hey, I'm away from my family a lot. I'm doing a lot of traveling on the weekends. And I wanted to pull back a little bit. So I wanted to stay in touch with the paranormal community. Yeah. So what I did is I started a live stream on YouTube and started having guests on and things of that nature. I did that for about a year or so. Then went to a podcast form. Did that for about a year. And then I heard of Paranormal Warehouse, and I seen how big they were. And I reached out to them and sent them my footage from my shows. I already had like probably close to 150, 200 shows under my belt at that point. And I sent them my stuff, and they loved it. And next thing I know, I was on Paranormal Warehouse and going from a couple hundred followers to thousands of followers, in one show. And then the next thing, Ghost Hunters comes along. They want, they wanted me for this show. So I, started doing that. And now I'm co-owner of Paranormal Warehouse as well. So yeah, and that's where I'm at right now, doing the show, Ghost Hunters. I got other projects I'm working on right now as well outside of Ghost Hunters and Paranormal Warehouse. So yeah, it's a full-time job.
Yeah, you're definitely deep invested in this stuff right now. So obviously we asked everyone else do they believe in the paranormal? And obviously, I guess you're a solid yes.
Yeah, I've seen things that I can't explain, and I've encountered things I can't explain. Am I a skeptic? Absolutely. Every investigation I go into, I don't care what the claims are or what the eyewitness claims are. I always go in as a skeptic, just due to the fact that I want to see it and hear it for myself. I want to capture that evidence, as an observer, and then make my own decision on if the place is active or not active, or the level of activity that's going on in the property.
So obviously there's a lot of equipment being used. Could you explain to us and the people listening, what kind of equipment you're using to try find activity.
Yeah,
I guess is how you say it.
the stuff that we're using on the show is not stuff that's been used on paranormal shows before. We really delve into the science side of things. We don't just go buy stuff off of Amazon and things of that nature. We started introducing the EDI Plus in season.
You're prepped.
This guy right here. That was,
Nice.
This is like basically for a paranormal investigator today. This is like a carpenter with his hammer. Simple as that. I mean, you should always have one.
What does it do?
It basically it'll show you. It's got temperature decrease, increase. It's got pressure. It's got humidity. It's also got a geophone for vibration, also and EMF. And you can also it also records all that. Your memory card goes to the top here and records all that, so you can go back, put it on your computer or your laptop or whatever, and you can actually, like, if you're having activity, and all of a sudden this thing starts going off with pressure increases and decreases and temperature and things of that nature, you can go back at the same time and see when you're having that activity what it was doing. And a lot of times what we find out, especially with residual haunts, you're getting pressure increases or decreases. And that's one of the things we've been really looking into. Why is that? And it's something we're furthering the study on and trying to figure out. But that's just one piece of equipment. I mean, we use body cams as well. We started introducing body cams in the paranormal. And
That's really smart.
Yeah, a lot of people are picking up on that and buying them now. And I got mine back here. Also, we have something called an EMCCD camera, which is electron multiplying camera, which Brandon actually had a friend of his in the scientific field who actually had one. At the time, I'd never even heard of this camera until he introduced it onto the show. We brought it on, and I think we were all a little on the fence. Even Brandon was on the fence about it at first, like, is this going to work or is it not going to work? And we used it for the first time and had amazing experiences. And what it does is this camera has been used. This camera's been around for 34 years. People just have never heard of it because it's used by the military, NASA, scientific field. What it does is it records single photon events. And one of the theories is that the paranormal or entities are made up of photons. So using the camera was genius because
You say photons or protons?
Photons.
Photons, yeah.
Yeah. So using the camera the first time out the gate, we capture an apparition, but only that camera saw it. There was a lockdown camera, which was IR, thermal cameras, and body cams, and the camera ops, our cameramen. No one else saw this except for the EMCC camera. You couldn't even see it with your own eyes. And we've used it on many, many, many locations where it's always a little bit different, which is the funny part. You're seeing these photon events, whether it be an apparition in a photon, or these like photons, like almost like, if you ever seen the movie Poltergeist, where you got these like swirly things going through the air, we're capturing things of that nature when there's paranormal activity happening. So that's some of the stuff we're using, and we even use some low tech stuff like motion detectors. They're like $15-20, but they work great. So I mean, you don't have to go buy, spend $300 or $400 or something like this, or thousands of dollars on an EMCCD camera, or $300 or $400 on a body cam. There's other stuff you can use as well.
Yeah. One thing I do appreciate is the science aspect of it and what you guys are doing. What was I going to say? The fact you wear body cams is great. And I'll tell you why. There's so many instances where people are like, I seen something, but the camera guy's like in a different room. But if you guys all have those body cams on, it helps a lot.
Yeah. The body cam is so nice. It's like having an extra investigator with you. You just turn it on, you clip it to your shirt, and you forget it's there half the time, which is really nice. And it's so lightweight. It doesn't hinder you. It's hands free, so that's very nice. You can actually take the ones we have. You can actually take off, and you can actually put them on a table, or they have a magnet where you can actually put them on a metal door jamb or something if you wanted to the show an area. So I mean, they're so nice, and the sound quality is amazing on them. The IR is great. I don't know what the pixelation is, but the pixelation works really well for whatever it is. It really captures a lot of great evidence for us.
Obviously, as a paranormal investigator, you probably get a lot of slack about it. Like people like saying, "Oh, it's fake," whatever. What do you got to say to those people?
I've never heard that ever.
You've never heard that?
I'm kidding, man.
Oh,
no.
I was in complete shock. I was like,
Yeah.
no. I would say 10 years ago that would have been a problem. People today, man, everybody's very open to it. I don't hear that a lot these days. I hear more people, fighting over the different techniques and different equipment and things of that nature. It's so much bigger than it was 10 or 15 years ago. Everybody has. It doesn't matter if they're a skeptic or not. It's so funny. When I'm like in a conversation with somebody who just meets me and they know who I am, and they're like, "Hey, man, they'll pull you aside. I had this experience when I was 10 years old," or but they can be a skeptic. They all have experiences. It's funny, and
Dara has a story.
Yeah, they all have a story, and it's 10, 15 years ago. Not too many people would have said that to you. They would have been more, all set and shy about saying anything like that. But now it's with the shows and with so many different teams out there and people doing this. I mean, it's a hobby for so many people. It's like golf these days. It's people. They leave work on a Friday, and the first thing they're doing is going home, get their equipment, and going to a location. A lot of people are doing it. It's very surreal.
Yeah. We're considering it for Ireland's most haunted castle is only a few minutes up the road from us.
Oh, nice.
So we're considering giving that a go because we talked to a lot of ghost hunters or paranormal investigators.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and like whenever they talk about like what they've done and stuff, it's just like it sounds really fun to do.
It sounds fun in the first place, yeah.
It sounds fun, but like also like if you could try and prove something to yourself that like it exists, because I know the boys are a bit skeptical now, but
I hate your story.
myself,
I'm just saying that as a fact. I hate
what
the story.
what I wasn't about to tell the story. Will I tell the story?
Tell them the story.
I'll tell the story. Okay, I'll tell the story. Okay, so I've told this to every paranormal investigator we've had on the podcast, as well as other guests. But anyway, so
Two took it seriously.
Yeah, try to take it seriously. Two took it seriously. Thank God.
Brian and Rochelle, they were great.
Oh wait, no, 3 took it seriously.
Who? I don't think Mustafa did.
Oh no, because I wasn't here for Mustafa.
Oh,
Shannon. Shannon took
Shannon
it seriously.
Sylvia.
Yeah. What happened was, it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I was at a wake, and I'm upstairs. It's like a 2-story building, and I was upstairs, and everyone else was downstairs. So I think it was just right before the removal, and I'm just making tea and whatever, and then there's like food and stuff on the table, and so like, say here's the counter where I have like the kettle and stuff to make the tea, and then the table's like over there, maybe like a meter or 2 away from me, and so out of the corner of my eye I saw something, and I was like, okay, so like I saw something move on the table, and I was like, right, that's a bit weird, and then I saw something move again. I looked and I just caught it, and a sandwich fell over.
That's your parent.
Do you understand why I think it's really offensive to have a guy like you on and say, man, a sandwich fell over this one time? I think it was a ghost. Yeah.
Well, like, it was the environment. I was just like, it was the environment, and I was young. It was actually more than 4 or 5 years ago. I must have been like 12 or 13. But like, I'm at a wake, and like, no one else is in the room, and I'm just like, oh shit, that's how much moved. So like, obviously I'm gonna be like, look at that, that's a ghost.
That's funny. Sandwich mood. That's good, man.
Yeah. I mean, it probably wasn't
Yeah,
anything.
I think
but still.
this
It's
thing here,
more of
you
a
should
fun story to
read
tell
about
than
this here,
something
Dara.
serious.
Gravity.
I'm sorry, what's that?
No,
So
I think Dara
gravity is
should.
the force that attracts a body down to the center of the earth. So maybe that's what happened to your sandwich.
That's
I
what
don't
happened to
know.
your sandwich. It got hit by
Yep.
gravity.
Yeah, well, guess what? Gravity can't hit things.
Wrong.
You ever been hit by gravity? No,
You ever been
you're
hit by a
born
rock?
into it.
You got hit by gravity too. Yeah.
It didn't fall on the floor though. It was just standing straight and it moved. Sorry.
No, there's probably something to it. I don't know.
Wrong.
No, it's
Okay.
yeah. It's more of a fun story to tell than an actual serious one.
It's not
So,
really funny.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get this really cool, like you saw an apparition. No, a damn sandwich moved.
I have a cool story. I have a
Go
story.
on.
My mum works at a hospital, and she's had several patients wake up from comas and say to give the little girl standing at the end of the bed some money.
Oh, yeah.
Wake up from comas.
Comas, yeah. Well, they're in critical condition.
All right. That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
They wake up and they say, oh, the little girl's at the end of the bed there. Will you give her some money? She's in a little. She's in a little dress. It's like a communion day or something. I don't know. It's very.
That's horrible.
She's had more than one person tell her that though.
I've heard of things like that, like hospitals having like, a ghost in there and I'd be like praying at the end of the bed or standing over you.
I mean, like, if any place was gonna have ghosts, wouldn't it be like a hospital?
Will probably be.
Suppose, yeah.
Because like many traumatic things happen in hospitals.
Like Daryl, you've been to a lot of like old hospitals or institutions, so
Yeah, I've done quite a few hospitals, sane asylums, prisons, things of that nature, and they're always the most active. They really are because it's very traumatic. A lot of things go down there. A lot of death, a lot of bad experiences for people, a lot of mourning. So yeah, you always get really good activity and good evidence out of those locations. I've never been disappointed in any of them.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like places where traumatic shit might have happened. Oh, you can curse, by the way. If traumatic shit happened in a place, you're probably more likely to find something. Like if you just went down to the local playground, it's probably nothing bad's ever happened there. Like
I guess.
compared to a prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, compared to a prison, yeah, I see that. Because it's just, I think, it's that the energy stays with it. So, like, a place like, Waverly Hills Sanatorium, like, obviously a place like that's going to have a lot of energy there, like.
You should check out some of the European places, because they have longer histories and way darker histories.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like even you hear the way they used to kill Irish or Scots people back in the day.
Yeah,
that's traumatic. That'll make you a ghost.
Yeah. The history overseas is definitely a lot older than what we have over here. But you got to, we do have the. Before the Europeans came over here, there were the Native Americans.
Yeah.
There's a lot of crazy stuff that went down here before we even showed up. So God knows what you're running into. I mean, we've investigated locations where we do believe it was Native American spirits that were there doing some of the activity. It's just crazy. I can imagine. I can't wait to get over to Europe and over to UK and places like that and investigate eventually. I would love to get over to some of those castles and things of that nature. Yeah, it'd be really cool.
What about the catacombs?
Over Paris. Oh, that would be cool.
There was Roman catacombs as well. They were much older.
Yeah, that would definitely be cool. Absolutely.
Is there more bodies in the Parisian catacombs?
The Roman ones, there's more of them. The French one is just huge.
Yeah.
Wait. How many bodies are in the Roman one? I know there's like over 6 million, I think, in the.
That stretches over most of Italy, like. Or different parts of Italy.
Right.
The Paris one is 2 million, I think. 2 million people in this
I thought it
one
was 6.
underground place. Like,
Oh wait, no, maybe it is 2. Yeah.
Thomas, you want to check that first there?
Yeah, check those stats. But either way, both places obviously they're gonna be like eerie as shit.
Oh yeah,
And
Yeah.
then
in that environment, underground, with all those dead bodies and things. That's just so creepy.
So it's around
between
6
6 and 7.
7 million.
for
That's in the Paris
yeah.
one.
Wow.
No, Roman, yeah. Yeah, you have to think, like, in a place where the walls are made of 40.
More than 40.
Yeah.
Big
Okay.
difference. 40 in the
And-
Roman catacombs and 6 to 7 million in Paris.
Yeah, this is where pagans were killed, and they believed in a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Or at the time, like, so you
Mm.
might have some extreme activity there.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. What do you?
Sorry, go on.
Oh, you go first.
Are you sure?
Yeah, mine trails away.
I wonder what with like talking about pagans and stuff there. I wonder what like places like Newgrange and stuff here would be like, because that's literally like a passage tomb. Like
That was more of a positive place.
it was a positive place, but like
It's where all the isn't it where all the Irish High Kings met or something?
I know when we were doing it in art history, they had like these little kind of, they're like stones, but they have kind of divots in them, and they'd put like the remains in there, and then the sun would shine in and let the spirits into the afterlife, So yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask, where do you think paranormal activity comes from? With your experience, like, do you think it's a spiritual thing, like a religious thing, or do you think it's something else?
It can
Like-
it's such there's so many different types of hauntings, man. With residual and intelligent haunting, they're your two major ones. Besides,
But if it is like down to a science, it has to be rooted in one particular way.
if it gets but the thing is, it's a pseudoscience at this point. It's something that hopefully in the future, I don't know if it'll be in our lifetime or not, but we can get into we're trying to take it, to bridge that gap into science and trying to figure it out. The problem is what you find is it's so hard to record that evidence over and over and over and over again, so you can turn it into a science. You don't always get the same thing that happens, unfortunately. Even with residual haunts, I mean, they're so iffy. Sometimes you'll get the same footsteps during the same time of day every day for a month straight, and then all of a sudden it goes away. So it's stuff like that. So you've got to be in the right place at the right time. You have to record the evidence. But where do I think it comes from? I don't know. I think it's, in my opinion, I think with residual haunts, it's pretty cut and dry. It's just an imprint, and basically, if you get up, if a person lives in a house for 50 years and they get up every day for 40 years and they go to the same job, same time of day, they walk down the same hallway, it's leaving that residual imprint, and it just keeps playing itself over and over again, even after that person is gone. So it's like making a whirlpool in water, and then you take the stick out, and it just keeps going by itself. I
mean, if you lived in a house long enough, theoretically, you could haunt yourself then.
Yeah, well, that's one of the theories behind the poltergeist type hauntings. You could actually, that's a good point, which you just made too. With poltergeists, I mean, from what we understand, they're actually created by humans. It's usually either an adolescent child or a woman who's gone through menopause. Is what they find out with all the different case studies, and that's with the poltergeist type hauntings. Now, with your intelligent hauntings, I just think if it's an intelligent haunting and it can communicate with you, it can see you, it can hear you. I think it's just someone who stayed behind. They had something they didn't finish, or they don't even realize they're dead. So, I mean, right now, that's the only thing I can, my theory on it, without having actual science behind it.
It's an EVP when you do like the sound recording, right?
Yeah, when you're doing audio recording. Yeah.
I've never seen a positive EVP where they've asked if they knew they were dead. I've never seen a positive one, like where it just says yes.
We've come across those many times. I mean, I don't know sort of people who watch the show. We've come across so many EVPs, stuff that we had that never even makes it to TV with intelligent interaction when you ask a question. Where we've asked questions, saying, "Hey, thank you," or "Thanks for being here," and we get a direct response saying, "Oh, you're welcome." We've had that many, many times. We've had the same thing where you just said, where we've asked, "Hey, do you know what year it is?" or who's the president, or something of that nature, and we get an intelligent response back. We've had that happen many, many times on the show. Yeah. And during my 15, 16 years of doing
Someone's mic's going off.
Oh,
Thomas.
my bad. Yeah, it's better, worse.
Oh, you can't see me anymore. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You thought you'd left, man. Actually, it's kind of an improvement. Oh.
I'm back.
Oh, God.
Okay, so we were saying.
EVPs.
Shit. Yeah, we were saying you get intelligent answers sometimes.
Yeah, not all the time. I mean, it's few and far between. But when you do get that intelligent response, I think the best ones are not so much the EVPs, but the audible. When you can actually hear it real time, like you get an audible voice that answers you in the room, and there's no one else in the room except yourself. That's the ones that really kind of blow your mind. They have that kind of. It's like they're right there, standing right next to you and answering questions. Had that happen many times as well.
Yeah. Obviously, some people find it hard to believe. We'd be more leaning on the side. I think I speak for all of us. We'd be more leaning on the side of it being real, or they're being subject to it. Where was I going with that?
I know for me, like I've been like even since I was small, I've been watching like paranormal investigation shows like Ghostbusters like that. And just like kind of growing up on them being on the Sci-Fi Channel and stuff, I was just like there's so many of these shows that like it's got to be real.
But there's also ones who have been caught faking it, which is what changes people's perspective. I think Ghost Adventures was a big one who got busted.
Yeah, it's not just the shows. There's been teams like people who have not been on TV have been caught faking evidence, which is it's always a black eye for the paranormal community when something like that happens, and it sucks because there are people out there who are really trying to move the field, in the positive direction, and not trying to fake evidence, and not just trying to make a TV show. That's one thing I can say about the guys on Ghost Hunters and all of us. Even production, we don't play that. We don't fake. If you get caught faking evidence, you're gone. Simple as that. That even comes from
Have you ever had to do that before?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Have you ever had to act on that before? Like someone faked it that you knew?
No, not on Ghost Hunters. No, not to my knowledge that's ever happened.
No, I meant like just like friends or whatever, not the show.
No, I've never. Not that I know of. I mean, it's quite possible that someone tried to fake something, but I never actually captured anybody trying to do that. No.
That's fair.
Yeah. Would you get a lot of videos asking you, is this real? Is this, my dad was haunted by a ghost. Do you know anything about, like, would you get a lot of those texts?
Yeah,
or
do you get sent
a lot
videos?
of requests, kind of?
Yeah. I get every day. I get people asking me to come investigate their house, or what can they do? Their house is haunted, and it's unfortunate I can't do that for everybody. I try to direct them, in the right direction to somebody, locally who could help them. But I get that every day. I got people who send me videos every day, and you look at the video like, oh my God, okay, well, and you try to smooth it over easy for them, like, okay, that's just lens flare, or that's just dust, or that's a car going down the road, the light shined in the window and reflected off something. And then you get the ones that you can't explain, where you see something, like a shadow figure or something dart across the room, and you're like, but the problem is when you get these videos is you're not there, and you don't know if trying to fake it, or you don't know that if there's windows behind that person and something reflected and made that shadow. So it's kind of hard unless you're there where you can actually, when you capture something like that and try to debunk it in every way possible to make sure it's real and it really happened. It's hard, and I get a lot of that, man. And everybody on the team does, but you just try to do your best with it. It's part of the business, and you just want to help the people out that really need the help. And there are people out there, families who've never experienced paranormal, and all of a sudden they start experiencing it, and they never believed in it. They've never had anything like it ever happen in their life, and then something starts happening in their house, and it's unexplained, and they're scared. And they're the ones that you really want to help, especially when there's children involved.
Yeah, that must be pretty tough, especially if you see people getting scratches and stuff. That's it's not fun.
Yeah, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never been scratched yet, man. So, yeah, I don't know what that is, but it happens.
The most compelling evidence I've ever seen, there's a guy, I forget what the original video was, but I've seen it before, and it was people getting investigated like in the 90s or the 80s, and they had 3 cameras on a guy, his hands up in the air, and he's just grunting like because he's been scratched, and then like zooming in on his stomach, and like his hands have been away from him. They've been filming him the whole time because he was doing an interview, but all of a sudden he just started getting these marks appearing on him, and they drew blood as well. Like,
oh wow,
yeah, if you could do that with your hands up in the air, congratulations.
Yeah,
but don't do it. That's a weird skill.
Some ghosts, they're just.
Imagine going to the talent contest like, "Hey, mom, no hands."
What's this?
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a question, but then I can't. I've done this like 3 times now, because I want to pick your brain because you've been at this for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if some of the questions have been like super detailed.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Obviously,
if you. Oh, sorry, go on.
I have it this time.
Well, you have a fresh in your mind.
With a lot of those videos that are just like orbs, you would probably dismiss those. But there's people like Mustafa who said like they've been in rooms and they've seen the orb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you experienced something like that?
Yeah, I mean, me and Mustafa have together on the show where we've actually seen a whole room light up where there's no electricity. How do you explain that?
Yeah.
The whole second floor of a building lit up in the middle of the night, 2:00 in the morning, with no power in the building, just lit up. I've seen that happen several times on investigations. These light anomalies that I can't explain, which some people call orbs, and you're like you can't wrap your head around it because it's not like the orbs you see on TV. This little dot running through the 9 times out of 10 is either a bug or dust or some kind of moisture.
Yeah. What's it called? We've had it. We talked about before. Something scattering. You checked it out, Thomas? Sorry, Dal, go on.
Yeah, no, it's these are like balls of energy that usually they're anywhere from like softball size to maybe the size of a basketball. And we had one not long ago. We were in Williamsburg, Virginia, doing an event. We were in a basement, and I had a room full of people with me. There's probably 10 of us down there. And we're just talking and asking questions. And it's probably, 10 or 11 o'clock at night. It's dark. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the room, between myself and one of the people who are with me, this ball of light just comes out of nowhere and just explodes in middle air, right in midair, and just lights up the whole room. It's like somebody took an old flash camera, and I still, to this day, I can't explain that. That was just back in June. I've had that happen so many times. This is something, you don't know if it could be, is it environmental? As far as that goes, yeah, it could be something scientific, environmentally, that's causing these things. But some of the things we captured on the show, when we see them, I have to lean toward paranormal. I really do, because we always get other activity with them, not just the light. We get EVPs. We hear disembodied footsteps, or we see something. I can't explain them, man.
Yeah, I can see you're sticking to your guns when you said you're pretty skeptical. Like you're not like getting. Yeah, it's definitely it, man. That's it. It's the truth.
Yeah.
No, you're like you don't know, but obviously you'd want some more evidence to accompany it. Like if there's a change in pressure.
Yeah. It's like I said, it could be environmental. I'm not a scientist. But I do know some of the stuff we capture on it. When you're getting all these other things happening at the same time, you're hearing disembodied voices, or you're getting EVPs, you're hearing footsteps, or you're seeing an apparition, and then you get these light anomalies. There's more to it than we know right now, and it's something. Honestly, there's something that we are working on. We're actually documenting these things and these different things. And we're going back and trying to match them up with other hauntings and things of that nature, and trying to build a case study out of it. Because right now, there are scientists that are very interested in the paranormal now, that are being supported, which is good. That's good for us. And there are scientists who want to work with us in doing these case studies and trying to figure out what paranormal is, why are places haunted. Because it's not just a place is haunted. But you got to think about, okay, yeah, we've proven this place is haunted by what we capture with our equipment, with our scientific equipment. But why is it haunted? That's the next question.
Yeah, that is the next step.
Exactly.
But I also feel bad because I've seen it happen. I feel terrible for guys like you, and you're investigating this stuff, but people are trying to catch you out. Like, like they're so skeptical to a point where it's just insulting. Yeah, I say that's a real pain in the ass.
Yeah,
you gotta have thick skin in that profession.
Yeah, you gotta have thick skin, and the thing is with me, man, I don't read the social media comments unless it's on my own personal account or something. The stuff that we have for the show, I don't read any of it. Like a lot of it's really good stuff, but then you always have those one or two people who just want to troll it. But it's part of the nature, dude. It's part of the business, and you're never gonna make everybody happy. You're never gonna prove it to everybody. No matter if science actually proves this, you're still gonna have people who are gonna not believe. It's just like the dinosaurs. Science has proven there was dinosaurs, and there's still people out there who said, "Oh, there was no such thing as dinosaurs."
On flat Earth.
It's all part of it, man. You're never going to prove it to everybody.
Yeah.
You get past that,
Of course,
yeah. Sure, there's people who don't even believe that the COVID virus is real.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you explain that one? It's caused by 5G. That's why, Dara. Thank you so much.
No, I said, and that it's caused by 5G, that people believe that. It's like...
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Dara, we all know you're an avid believer that COVID is caused by 5G.
No, I'm not. No, but I get what you're saying there. Like,
lie because it's embarrassing. It's okay.
No, people...
It's okay, Dara.
Shut up. I agree that people...
Yeah.
No, say what you're saying, sorry.
People were like... people are definitely becoming more open to it now. Like, even, like, officials and stuff, because I know it's like, it's kind of the same field, but it's not like Ghost or whatever. But I know that Blink-182, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So the ex-guitarist, he left the band. He started like kind of like an alien organization, like And when the government released those UFO videos, they started working with that organization, like in tandem with them. So I think like it's a big step.
It's funny that between all this stuff going on right now with COVID and everybody rioting and things of that nature, that they're releasing all these alien videos and no one's even freaking paying attention to it.
Didn't even watch them.
Bro, we don't have time for that shit.
The Pentagon are just like, oh, yo, look, by the way, UFOs exist. Look at this video of a fighter pilot chasing a UFO.
Yeah, after denying it for so long, like, oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we know nothing. And they're like, oh, by the way, here's 2 videos from 10 years ago.
I don't think people found it shocking. It's because people already kind of just knew. People were like, yeah, we've known that for years. That's not news.
No, that video, like, I've seen them videos before. And, like, people knew it was, like, a real video. So I feel like...
there's going to be a lot coming out here in the next few years. You watch. There's a lot more out there, especially over here in the States, that's been hidden by the government as far as.
If anyone knows about the aliens, it's you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the UFOs and stuff, man, and the military bases and all that.
Yeah. What do you think about Area 51?
I think at one time it was a holding spot for that stuff. Now I think it's just smoke and mirrors, man. I don't think anything's there, and I think they want you to think it's there. It's been moved a long time ago, man.
So do you think they're like holding it in a different place, or?
Yeah, I think they're probably holding it like Wright-Patterson or one of these places, or some other base that we don't know about. There's over here in the States, man. There's military bases up in the mountains that no one even knows about, man. That are hidden. They're bunkers and things of that nature that are put there for reasons. That are usually protected by special forces and CIA and things of that nature. And there's more there than just a bunker, man. These bunkers, are some of them are 10s and 20 miles deep. So they're not just held there for if the president has a problem, you can't go there. So there's a lot going on that I think will be released eventually. I hope it is, because there's so much out there, man, that I just think what it is, man, I think it was, at the time, it was too smart for the public. And they didn't want to release it because they thought it would scare people. Well, now, nothing surprises us, man. No. I mean, look what we just went through for the last 6 months with COVID.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's kind of weird.
I mean, I feel like one kind of cool theory is that after, like, I don't know, there was like crash landings were brought there, and then now they're like reverse engineering the technology.
Well, I think the Germans did that back in World War II. I think they've been working on that all the way back then, man. Reverse engineering.
I know that what was it? I think Germany, Russia, and America were all working on kind of fake UFOs to scare their enemies, so they'd have like kind of.
They all had secret weapon programs, and then it turned out in the end.
Yeah.
The nuke was kind of the best thing they had.
We were such in a rush to take Berlin before Russia got there, because we wanted the scientists. We wanted to bring the scientists back here to the States. So Russia got there. They were able to get some of them. We got some of them, and they went their different directions with them. And a lot of that stuff was brought over here and brought to Russia and other places where, after World War II, a lot of that stuff went into effect with these German engineers, which were the greatest engineers of their time. And to this day are still amazing.
Some people will shit on those people. I really, really hate them because they were alive when the Nazis were about. Doesn't mean they were Nazis. Yeah. Like the guy who made the V2.
There was,
what he said, like.
He said he wanted to be he wanted to bring us to the moon, and then he was just like, I think after the first V2 hit London, he was like, the rocket worked perfectly, it just landed on the wrong planet.
Yeah.
And that's super sad. Like,
that's such an amazing thing to say, and it is such a shame.
Yeah, it's like we were in season 2, just back in January. I was at Wendover Air Force Base in Utah. Which Wendover, if you guys are not familiar with it, was a secret Air Force base here in the States that was used during World War II to create Little Boy and Big Boy, which are the bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
And that's where they kept the blueprints. That's where the Enola Gay took off from and everything. And they were doing all kinds of experiments out there with experimental aircraft. For many years, even up to present day. And many pilots died out there doing these experimental aircraft and these missions from World War II on up to believe the 80s. It's still an active Air Force base, but it's not all military now, which is so they don't do too much out there. But it's really surreal when you get there, because you look around. And this Air Force base is in the middle of nowhere. It literally takes you about 2.5 hours to drive there from Salt Lake. which you land in Salt Lake and you drive. And once you leave Salt Lake City, you drive through the desert for 2.5 hours. And you see nothing but mountains and desert on either side of you for a long time until you get there. And all of a sudden you come to this bunch of mountains, and you go cut through the mountains, and you come, and there's Wendover Air Force Base right there in the middle of all of it, right there on the Nevada border. And it's just wild being out there and seeing.
Thomas, your mic.
It's kind of where a lot of history was made. Really was. It's pretty wild being there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of dodgy, some of the stuff going on.
Yeah.
Or it did go on. Like, if there's like, get back to the aliens. Like, if anyone knows about them, it's you guys.
Of course.
Like
Yeah.
Thomas and Dara, do you guys think Leo Varadkar knew about the aliens?
Fuck no.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
But like no, I think there was a big. I remember
Lads fall asleep in our doll talking about cheese sandwiches.
Yeah.
In pub. And like, there's no way we know about that stuff.
Yeah. I remember now, like 2 or 3 years ago, everyone in LA was freaking out over this big fucking light in the sky, and everyone was like, "Holy shit, what is that? Like, there's no way that's like a man-made." And then like Elon Musk came out or something. He was like, "Oh yeah, that's just a rocket."
Yeah, it's what it is, rocket.
And yeah, exactly. And everyone was just like, "Oh, okay." I mean, if Elon Musk was an alien, I don't think anyone would be surprised.
No,
I would.
Dude, the guy is a freaking genius, man.
Yeah, he's like this. He's one of the smartest people to be alive in a very long time.
He puts a lot of people to shame. He puts Bill Gates, all his guys to shame, man. Elon Musk, he's a beast.
Yeah. Have you seen that video? He was talking to like the richest man in China or something.
Oh
and
yeah, and he made the guy look like an idiot.
Yeah. He was just like, how could you solve our economic crisis? And he just like explains it in like 2 minutes.
Well,
and then
Elon Musk is a big believer in aliens and that type of life. So if anybody could get us there, where to actually prove that would be him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, like his name is Elon. Alien Elon. Come on.
Yeah, okay.
It means warrior on his homeworld.
I apologize.
Yeah, no, he's a real character. Some people don't like him. I do. I like him. I understand if you don't like him.
Guy.
Some people don't like Joe Rogan. I like the guy.
Oh, Joe, he's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
What was I gonna go? What was I gonna say? Yeah, moving on from aliens and paranormal, back to the paranormal. I guess you could call some of it paranormal. How do you feel about cryptids?
Oh, depends on the cryptid. I do think Sasquatch and Bigfoot. I do believe in it. I do think there can be a bipedal ape living in North America, anywhere in the world. To be honest with you, you got to remember, you got to think back to the 1800s. They didn't discover mountain gorillas until the late 1800s. They were just a myth at that point. And then they discovered them, and now science has proven they're real. We see them all the time on documentaries and that nature, and even in our zoos.
Yeah, we thought the coelacanth was dead for 60-something million years, and then it turned out to be alive, just chilling.
Yeah, there's all kinds of sea creatures like that. I mean, that people thought were sea creatures or were having extinct, and all of a sudden, like one will wash up on some beach somewhere, and like, oh shit, we thought they were dead 10,000 years ago. So why can't there be a Sasquatch? I mean, there's too many people seeing these things for them not to. I just think they're smarter than us, and they're able to hide from us, and I would too. I don't blame them.
I mean, they could have adapted like camouflage with trees and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, most animals do that. Yeah.
Exactly.
We're an exception because hairless.
Yeah.
So what was I going to say? God damn it, Dara.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
I'm very passionate about cryptids and stuff.
There was a bit of evidence there found, or that leans towards the chance of there being another species of human, I guess, still alive. Remember they found those bones before from the hobbits, like the really small people in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Thomas, you look those up, like the exact name. Those.
Yeah, I think they even actually, there's, I don't know if it's doctored footage, but they actually found some that, in the last 10 years that were still alive, but who knows if that's real or not.
Yeah. If they find out that these people, I guess, I'm going to get cancelled for that one day. If they find these people still alive, like, I won't be surprised at all, whatsoever.
I mean, like, there's so many undiscovered places still.
How do you tell a person like this that we've went to the moon?
You don't. They're not gonna understand.
I mean, like, that's the same thing with like the Northern Sentinelese people. Like, how would they, like, if you told them, like, oh yeah, see that thing, you look up and see that, you pray to that thing. We've been there, and
you worship the moon. Yeah, we were there.
Try to explain. Try to explain
like,
to them what the fuck TikTok is.
We've been on your god. I'm sorry, we've been on your god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We apologize, but yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Like, the thing. Yeah, they still shoot arrows at people when they pull up to the island.
Yeah, look, if you look at down in South America, like the rainforest and stuff, I mean, they're still finding new tribes there all the time that have never been discovered. So yeah, it makes you wonder. Cause I believe in the rainforest, I believe only like 9 or 10% of it's ever been man has ever actually traveled on. It's so vast and so.
You've seen they found cities in there from when I'd be saying the wrong civilization, but like when the Aztecs and the Mayans were going around. Those are different civilizations, but like same level of technology, but in the Amazon and covered up by trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just there's so much space left on the planet that hasn't been touched.
Thomas, your mic. Sound.
There's so many places on the planet that just have been untouched by civilization. Literally, think about not even how long we've been around, but how long we've been able to go to other places. It's in the whole scale of things, it's not that long at all.
And how long we've been making things go extinct.
I mean,
back to cryptids, there's probably loads still alive.
It's only been 350 years since they discovered North America. I mean, so and they thought the world was flat, 500 years ago and stuff like that. So we have a long way to go.
Thomas,
what? It's not.
But no, even just with things washing up on shore, Thomas, will you look up a picture of the Montauk Monster there?
No.
These are normally bloating floats. They're just things that died and bloated up.
But the Montauk Monster, I think it's a skull on it as well. Thomas, will you look it up, please?
I think they're based an SCP on this.
They probably did.
Yeah.
Montauk
Monster.
AUK.
Oh, is this this really long yoke?
Hold on. Wait, images, yeah. Hopefully it's showing...
Oh, it's identified as a dead raccoon.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I think they thought it was a dog or something that actually had washed up.
Yeah, the appearance of the beak is actually just the nose fell off.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It rotted. Yeah.
Oh, god damn it.
And what I was saying with bloat and float, the rate of decay was a bit different because it was on water.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dara.
I'm sorry.
No, there's one thing I'm a firm believer in, and everyone can question me on it. After the KT extinction, when the non-avian dinosaurs were all killed, I believe that something survived for a small amount of time. I doubt anything made it to see a person, but they found evidence before of a non-avian dinosaur making it all the way to 61 million years ago. But I feel like something else got to a certain point, and then that was the last of them.
Yeah. I mean, the mastodons. I mean, that was just 10,000 years ago. They died off.
They were around when the Egyptians were making pyramids.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, can some of that stuff be still around? Absolutely. Yeah, definitely, or some remnant of it, or a relative of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I'd like to see something towards the extinction with mammoths. We tried to get some people on. We were sending emails last night trying to get some people on who are involved in that kind of stuff. Oh, we came across this place called Pleistocene Park, and they're trying to reintroduce old fauna back into the Siberian wilderness because there's nothing living there really. The permafrost is just melting really easily. If there's more animals there, they can kind of reduce the rate of it. Mammoths were great for that. They filled that ecological niche, and then they died off, and it's not happening anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with they can extract DNA from what they find. They find mammoths all the time up in in Alaska and Antarctica, places like that, frozen. If they can extract the DNA from it and actually create one again, I wouldn't put it past a company doing that.
Of course not.
Do you know how they go about it? Have you
going about what, the DNA?
Like how they bring one back? They have to.
I don't know. I would believe they would probably have to do kind of like a test tube type thing where they would have to be scientists involved, and it would be a lab, and they would be able to extract kind of like Jurassic Park almost, where you see them extracting DNA from a fossil. So I mean, if you can do that, I'm sure there's scientists out there. If we can put a man on the moon, we could probably do something like that with no problem.
They're trying to bring back the dinosaurs, yeah. We had scientist Jack Horner on, or paleontologist Jack Horner on. He's involved in the Dinosaur Chicken Project. They're trying to bring back the dinosaurs by using chicken DNA.
Oh, jeez, that's wild.
That's really impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Why would you want to do that, though?
It's a good question. He answered it very well when he was on the show, but I'm not too sure, to be honest.
No,
I think it's a great idea. Like, if you can do it, do it. It proves it. Part of it is it proves evolution. Full stop.
Yeah.
If you can use the old DNA within a chicken to bring it back to like a more dinosaurian form, it just proves evolution.
Yeah.
Nail in the coffin, the final one. Like we've never seen evolution happen really. So that was kind of his idea about it.
No,
you can prove that these genes went out of use in favor of these through natural selection.
Right.
That's very true, and I agree that it's cool. However, now, that would be awesome. Needs to be kind of put into keeping the ones around that we have now that are very, very scarce.
Oh, definitely.
Because I think, what was it? There was a type of rhino, I think, and there's only one of them left in the wild. I think it's one male.
Blackhorn rhino, is it?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's sad, man. A lot of things have went extinct over the last.
And it's our fault. We did it.
Yeah, it did. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's our fault. I mean,
hunting it to extinction, like
tigers and things of that nature, where died off back in the 30s. Well, I mean, there is some. They do believe there are some around, but I mean, that's the type of stuff they need to be bringing back.
Yeah, more recently extinct things. You want to bring those back because their ecological niches were cut away, and it's affected our environment pretty badly.
Yeah,
I know that Forrest Gallant is trying to find Tasmanian tigers
in Papua New Guinea, isn't it?
I'm not sure,
Papua New Guinea. He's checking up there because it's isolated regions that dingoes wouldn't have gotten to.
Yeah,
because dingoes outcompeted Tasmanian tigers.
Well, people there's Tasmania. There was one village. I remember watching a Joe Rogan clip of it. He said there's one village that, every village had a Tasmanian tiger sighting. So
that's the same with the Mokle Memble. They think there's a sauropod still alive in the Congo.
That's insane.
And they've eaten them before.
What?
Yeah, it didn't. Sorry.
They think it's still alive, but it's not really been proven.
Go on, explain the story there, Drew.
Can you try spell that, Thomas? Mokle Memble. They think there's a sauropod still living in the Congo. Native people have said that's what it is, and the native people would understand the difference between an elephant with its trunk in the air and a fucking sauropod.
Right.
You know, like they've been
Right.
seeing like elephants the whole time. It's the Congo, so it's a big place as well, and parts of it we haven't been to.
Right.
So
Hold on, Thomas. Do you want me to? Oh, yeah. I
it
think
is.
that's it.
Is all that crazy that even a small one could be living in there?
Huh.
I mean, didn't they say they hunted and ate one?
Yeah, one of the big ones is that they said they hunted one and ate it. Now you have to think of this like from a ecology point of view. Like, is there enough food in there to feed that thing? You know, how big is their population group? You know, like they talk about Nessie a lot as if Nessie's like this immortal uh, marine reptile. Like, there's obviously more than one. There has to be like a species going strong.
Yeah, absolutely. It can't be just one. It would have been dead by now, most
Yeah.
likely. They've been seeing the thing for 200 years.
The big
Like,
thing about
Nessie hasn't been
Nessie,
hiding for 600 or for 64 million years.
the big thing about Nessie is that, like, I think what turned me off of it and being kind of like, I don't think it's real, is that the first ever, well, I wouldn't say the first ever sighting, the first ever documented, like, photo was fake. It was
Yeah.
hoax.
And when they conducted
And
research down there, check
and that is,
ecology, there was not enough food in there to support something that big. And
Yeah.
a population of that, even a small one, there's not enough food in there.
Yeah.
and like, just, I, just because photo has become the most famous photo of the Loch Ness Monster, it's just like, ugh, you know.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I think it was two guys, and one of them had like a remote control submarine or something like that, or a toy submarine, and just attached a piece of driftwood to it, and then just kind of sent it out and took a picture.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
That's a big
Because
part
like
of
that
people
would be
faking
so
things.
cool. Imagine like just there's a sauropod in Scotland. That would be sick.
Say that again, sorry? You cut off.
Like imagine a sauropod living in Scotland. Like that would be insane.
It would be a plesiosaur. A
Sorry,
sauropod
please.
would be different.
Sorry. Yeah,
But
sauropod. Yeah.
with the thing that makes me doubt the Mokli Memble is I don't think sauropods were living underwater. Or like we're living in any part near the water. Because Mokli Memble is supposed to be like in the water, like, and peek its neck out or peek its head out. Like it spends a lot of time in water. That'd be very rare, or be very, or wouldn't be found in that group of animals.
Right.
Like if you weigh something like 10 tons and you're underwater with all that silty, wet soil under there, you're just gonna sink. You're gonna be stuck in there very easily.
That's true. Yeah.
But I want to believe, man. I want to believe.
Literally X-Files.
Yeah, literally. So we went on such a tangent. I'm so sorry, Daryl.
That's all right.
No, you've been great for this so far. What will we cover before we end? What's coming next?
Yeah, cool.
For you, like
right now, I mean, we're kind of just sitting on our butts waiting for this whole COVID thing to pass so we can get back out and start filming. We are working on other projects as well. I'm working on a YouTube series right now. That's a produced YouTube series for YouTube. We actually filmed the first episode back in June. It should be out
like a YouTube premium thing.
It's an actually produced series, which is basically there's a production company that's producing it. So it's got camera ops. It's not like the usual stuff you see on YouTube where you see a guy running around a haunted location with his cell phone.
The shaky little DSLR.
Yeah. No, this is actually has cameramen following us, investigating. And what we're doing is on each episode, we're bringing in a new YouTuber, a big YouTuber, to investigate with us.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Send us a link for that when it's up. Like,
yeah, when it's up.
We'll promote the shit out of it.
We just got the rough copy last Friday. We watched it. We're cutting it down to. We're cutting a few minutes out of it. There's a few things I want to cut out of it. I did some notes on it with our editor. So once that gets up, we'll definitely put it out there for everybody. I can't wait. It should be out by the end of the month. And we're still working on the name. we're working with YouTube on the name to make sure we can use it. It's because it's got YouTube in the actual. We were going to call it YouTube Haunts, so that's what we're working on right now.
That's a good name.
Yeah, it's a real good name, and it's really cool because for our first episode, we brought in Omar Gosh. He's a big paranormal type YouTuber that does a lot of stuff on YouTube. He's got a really
Thomas, look her up. I think I've heard that name before.
Yeah, Omar Gosh TV. He's our first guest. So that's what we're doing right now. We have some other projects that are in the works that I really can't mention too much about. But besides that, we're just waiting to get back out and start filming again.
Man, that sounds so cool.
It does, yeah.
That sounds so cool. I'm gonna stay tuned for that. Like, I'm sure the lads will as well.
100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is. That's Omar there.
The sound man. Yeah, that's cool, man.
It's great, yeah.
You had a question there, Dara. I interrupted you.
Oh yeah, I was gonna just say it's very good to see a horror fan. I see the Salem's Lot poster there in the back.
Yeah, I got 30 over there. I'm a big horror buff, man. I love horror.
Yeah,
I guess that's why you do what you do.
Yeah, we were talking to Brandon Crane from the 1990 miniseries the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. Oh, it was great. Yeah.
I think I missed that one.
Yeah, you did. Sadly, but yeah, he played Ben.
That's what I do on my time off when I'm not filming. I love watching classic horror, even the newer stuff, and true crime. That's my thing. Yeah.
Those are the best.
Yeah, they are the best.
Very true. Yeah. What's your favorite horror movie? Would you say?
My favorite horror movie.
This is important. Choose wisely.
I'm gonna say, man, it's anything John Carpenter or Stephen King, but I'm a big Salem's Lot guy. I love Salem's Lot. That's why I got the picture behind me. But I think probably my all-time favorite would probably be The Shining.
My man.
Very good.
I'm a huge fan of The Shining. I love that movie. Doctor Sleep is a great movie too.
Doctor Sleep.
It's a great movie.
Doctor Sleep was amazing. The movie just came out about a year ago. Was amazing too. So I love that type of horror and the way it's done, man.
Yeah, it's very good.
So beautiful. It's just a pleasure to watch.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were actually, when we were talking to Brandon, we asked him what horror movie or Stephen King adaptation he'd like to see, like if they were gonna make a remake or a reboot, and it'd be good, like what would he want to see? He said Christine, and I also said Christine, because I don't know, but seeing looking at other things,
I would like to see them try to redo Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
Or I would like to see them do They Live, redo it.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's They Live. Yeah.
John Carpenter, what a man.
Yeah.
Great for the practical effects.
Amazing, dude.
Yeah.
He just, from the 70s up to into the 90s, even into the early 2000s, his horror is just it's something I grew up with and grew up loving the Halloweens and even some of his early stuff Assault on Precinct 13 and things of that nature. Some of his early Escape from New York. It's just amazing, man, what he was able to do with on a shoestring budget.
Great,
yeah, and just make it work and believe, believe it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the one thing, one reason why I think Christine should be rebooted actually is because John Carpenter did a remake of I think the main song from it, and I think in 2017 maybe, and it was he had the car in it and everything, and it was fully rebooted, and right at the end he rolls down the window. It pulls up to a girl, rolls down the window, and John Carpenter's sitting in the seat. Thomas, can you see if you can pull up just maybe a screenshot from that video, just Christine remake.
Yeah, Thomas normally talks, but recently he's been the Jamie of the podcast.
Which he doesn't mind. Official music.
Why are you so quiet, Tommy boy?
Oh yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I feel like if they brought back the Fury, it'd be pretty good because, like, it's pretty well known, but it's not, like Salem's Lot's pretty well known as well. But I think it could be brought to kind of like a newer audience because, like, the car is amazing, vintage car, absolutely beautiful.
Even if they didn't use that particular car and they use something more modern, I think you can get away with it, man.
Tesla.
Yeah, we were actually we were saying a Tesla, yeah.
Yeah, it was something like
like
Monte Carlo or something from the 80s or 90s or something like that, when people like the younger generation would know what that is. Yeah. That would be cool.
Because we were talking, like we were just saying, like one big fear, what kind of like Tesla and stuff now is like the auto driving thing, and like people were like, oh, but like someone's gonna get hit by it. So if they like used it like that and had that as kind of the whole thing and not being possessed, people would just be like, I mean, it'd be funny. It'd be kind of funny, but like, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah. Anyway.
Any final questions, guys? I guess not.
No.
Do you have any intention of going to Ireland to do any investigations? Because there's some haunted shit here.
What's that? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. What was that?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Do you have any intentions of coming to Ireland for any investigations? Because there's some pretty haunted stuff here.
I definitely in the future, once everything clears up, I hopefully will be over in Ireland, UK, places like that. Our show, it just started coming out over there in the UK. Came out in the UK, then France, then Italy, Germany, all of South America. So you guys were starting to see it. I don't know if you guys have seen. You got season 2 yet, but it's season 1 on steroids. It's so much better in my opinion. I love the way it was done. It's shot like The Shining. That's why I love it so much.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
That is really cool. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's more like a documentary. A lot of really cool drone shots. A lot of isolated places that are very that have never been done before. Alaska, places of that nature where you just get lost in the scenery, and it's very eerie being there, just investigating a haunted location that's never been investigated. That's 4 or 5 hour boat ride from the mainland. Places like that, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, just to name a few that we went to that have never been investigated. And just the it's almost like the scenery kind of steals the show. I mean, it's so eerie and so isolated and desolate from everything, and then you have a haunted location on top of that. It's so well done. I loved it, man.
Yeah, it sounds eerie now.
Look, I'll watch it when it's
Just
out.
being away from civilization. Yeah, 100%.
We've talked to all you guys. Like, we may as well watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, no. I think there's at least one guy we haven't talked to.
Yeah, you haven't talked to probably Brandon or Kristen. You name the other guys.
Yeah, I haven't talked to
better
either
get them on.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan. So thanks so much for getting on today. It's been a pleasure. Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll
We'll try to stay in contact as much as we can. Like tweets and all that kind of crack. If people want to check you out and they want to follow you, where can they find you?
You can go to www.darylmarston.com, or you can go to any of my social media links. Instagram, I'm big on Twitter, Facebook, and just type in Daryl Marston. I'm the first thing that pops up. And I'm all over the place when it comes to social media and the show. And you can also check out my company, Paranormal Warehouse, which is the largest paranormal live streaming network in the world with over 500,000 followers. Go check it out, guys. You won't be disappointed.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Right.
Thomas, you're so quiet. Oh my God.
Thanks for coming on. You've been a great guest,
Thank you. I appreciate it, Thomas.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
So-
guys. Appreciate it, man. It's been awesome.
Look, man, have a great day. Thanks for getting on, and we'll chat to you soon. Hopefully,
All right,
the episode
guys,
will
have
be
a
out
great-
in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. See you guys.
Take handy.